I have a notification. I have a friend request apparently. I guess I'll check that later. I've gotten some friend requests here and there from, people who've discovered my content and channel and whatnot. Rule of thumb when it comes to like whether I'm gonna accept friend requests or not is basically if I recognize the name, I'll accept it. If I don't recognize the name, I won't. Essentially, is what it is. But hello, Mortis and Mythic. I don't know why Mortis, your message isn't appearing on the chat thing, Bob, and why it's being all weird and stuff. But I keep on saying that I'm gonna get rid of Streamlabs, but I've been a little bit occupied. But I just recently wrapped up this university semester. This semester is over finally. I'm gonna be doing some online classes during the summer and whatnot, and doing some work stuff, but I don't have to worry about as much studies at home and homework and whatnot. I can focus a bit more on channel stuff over the course of the next several months, and we've got several things planned out and in the works. Today I spent working on the Legends Arceus video essay, and I'm about 20 minutes into the freaking chapter 3, the gameplay chapter. And hello, Crystal. How do you do today? Hellos! We're about to start chapter 19 here. Also, I wonder if I should show some of my progress that I've been working on the thing where Bob. I wonder. So, I'm in the middle of chapter 3 gameplay right now. And, hold on, a hot ticker here. If I turn on display capture for a hot second. Yeah, this is about how far I am into chapter 3. It is about 26-ish minutes. Hey, look, Enamorous, that painful thing, Bob. I guess that's the section where I talk about that. I was talking about like freaking waiting around for space-time distortions over here. So I'm working on that. This is what I'm doing lately. So that's there's that. But I wanted to take a little bit of a breather from that after working on it a whole bunch today. And I was like, okay, let's play some Triangle Strategy, because I really like playing this game. Doing okay. That's pretty okay there. I never know how to respond when people say doing okay. When they say that they're doing great, it's like, it's awesome to hear. If they say that it's going off, it's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope that, something by the stream can, help turn things around in some way, help put a smile on your face. But doing okay is like the one thing that I never know how to reply to. Is like, oh, okay, that's okay. That's pretty all right, Also, wait, what? I don't know where you spot this. There was something else I wanted to say, and I've forgotten what it is. Let's start this chapter, and maybe I'll remember what it is by the time that we've seen the cutscenes the beginning of chapter 19. Oh yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3's release date has been pushed forward. That's new.
Frederica's words.
What?
The Roselle of the Source rise up to take their freedom from the clutches of their captors. Not long after, Byzantine forces encircle them, preventing their escape. But not all is lost. Jerome and the Rosellan villagers arrive just in time, throwing their foe into disarray and affording Frederica and the others a window to escape the capital. With the long-suffering sinners freed from their shackles, and the holy symbol of their faith destroyed, the people of Hyzant are left shaken to their very core. Frederica and the others take advantage of the ensuing chaos to reunite with their allies. Meanwhile, Benedict succeeds in driving Exham Marshal from the Wolfort domain, securing the safety of his home, hopefully for the final time. While at the borders of Esfrost, Roland succeeds in procuring the Death Knell, whose great blast will sound the end of Hyzant's reign over Norzelia. Together with Frederica, they take their first step into their new future. On the barren wasteland surrounding Hyzant, they gather, the goddess's shield towering before them, as Serenoa's plan reaches its climax.
Chapter 19, The Fortress That Is Faith. Yo, some of the chapter names in this game are certainly something I do have to say. I'm very fitting there. Also, now, no, wrong button. It's the X button. Let's go ahead and load the save file that I was grinding in and whatnot. That's, also just chapter 19 here. So, I didn't do a massive ton of grinding, but a smidge got levels up there a little bit. So, the team is looking a little bit better now. Also, everyone's finally together again, so like, thank goodness for that. So, yeah, this is what the team's looking like now. Everyone's at least level 30, and we have some level 31s in there, so the team is looking pretty nice right now, I think. Everything's looking pretty a-okay. I do still have a thingamabob. A thingamabob to promote. So we have these 5 elites right now of Sarah, Noah, Anna, Hewitt, Eridor, and Maxwell, our divine spear here. But who do I want to promote next is the next question, you know? You should totally, I don't know anything about Digimon, so I'm not super familiar with that, but I would highly recommend Xenoblade Chronicles 3 at least. It's the Xenoblade series might just be like my favorite game IP potentially. If not, it's up there. Just because even though there aren't like a lot of titles in it, like I know that the Xeno series itself goes longer, what with Xeno Saga and Xeno Gears. I want to try those titles eventually. But Xenoblade at least, my goodness, just chef's kiss, mwah, you know, is easily the game that I'm most hyped for this year. Like, even if Breath of the Wild 2 was still releasing this year, I would still be most hyped for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Is the thing. Increase your move by 1 with clear weather. I mean, it is clear weather most of the time. And that increases your strength by, like, 3. Which is pretty nice. Roland could be a not half bad option. Digimon's a Legendary series, you never played them, but they're your favorite games despite never playing them. Just, like, watch a bunch of, like, playthroughs of it or something like that. I know that this thingamabob is like the immunity to thingamabobs there. I am intrigued by this. It seems very intriguing. I still don't know what these are though. I still don't know there. But how would you how are you exposed to them then? Just saying that they're favorites for funsies? I might just promote Roland then actually. Because that's a pretty decent stat increase and it's clear weather most of the time. Right? Never watched them either. You just know it to be true. You know when you're hot. It just speaks to you. You know what? I'm gonna actually promote Roland. Let's go ahead and do that. Only beaten Digimon Cyber Sleuth, but you've slightly dabbled in some of the incredibly mediocre PS1 titles in the series like Digimon Rumble. I know nothing about any of them. Look at that. We have 6 elites now. Wow. Our elite soldiers. So I think that we have a bunch of character stories to go through now that we've reached this point. So the story might be put on hold for a little. Oh, there's 6 character stories that I unlocked 1 new one apparently while doing that little smidge of grinding and stuff. There aren't any other. No, there's no paralogs or anything like that. Well, ready to see a bazillion side stories because here we go.
Gotten better, my friend. Much better. Only because I've had you to train with. And how far behind would I be without Sir Maxwell's tutelage? The Dawn Spear himself is my personal mentor. And still you're all but my equal. It's been a while since we last sparred. It takes time to adapt to a new opponent. Perhaps so. Anyhow, I always enjoy our skirmishes. No better way to clear my head after another quarrel with Father. Must all 3 nations be part of this mining venture? I've yet to hear a convincing argument as to why.
You do not hear because you do not listen.
Hyzant offers nothing but a sliver of their vast riches. Something we could easily do without. I understand the advantage of involving Esfrost. Their expertise speeds things along immeasurably. But Hyzant, have you at least demanded they lower the taxes on salt? Such a change would be welcomed by our subjects and enrich their daily lives. We cannot concede everything while gaining naught in return. Surely you see this, Father.
It has been decided, and I will hear no more. You presume upon matters you do not comprehend.
But Father, I'm just...
Now, Roland, if there is nothing else, pray leave me be.
Yes, Father. If only I had found the right words. If only I had kept my emotions in check. Perhaps things would have ended differently.
Blaming yourself for past mistakes will lead you nowhere. You must look forward for the opportunities ahead.
Of course. And I trust you'll be at my side come that time.
Just as House Wolfort stands with the crown, I stand with you.
I am fortunate to have as loyal a friend as you.
As am I. Enough sentimentality. Raise your spear so I can knock it down.
You're welcome to try, my friend.
Cyrano's conviction have been strengthened. Always awesome to see that Cyrano's convictions get strengthened. Something really interesting about Roland is, you know, at the bit where the route splits into like the 3 main endings and the true ending, one of the things that I was most thrown off by when it came to this game was Roland suddenly wanting to ally with Hyzant and let Hyzant take over the world and give up, you know, his crown and kingdom to Hyzant and their goddess and whatnot, when he had like previously denounced them in the game. And I thought that this was like really out of nowhere. I was super confused. So I actually looked into it a little bit and looked into what some people were saying on the matter when it came to Roland there. And there are some bits in the story where we see him kind of losing faith in himself and his ability to rule. Apparently one of the biggest instances where you see that is something that we didn't actually see in this playthrough. It's where he stays in the capital to, you know, investigate the royalists, the corrupt royalists and whatever the heck. Where it's like, you as Serenoa have the option to return to Wolfort and see Lord Simon, who's woken up, which is what we did because it's tied to the true route. You could go with Frederica to the Rosellan village, where she uncovers some truths and whatnot. Or you can stay in the capital with Roland, where he's going to investigate the corrupt royalists. I haven't actually looked up what directly happens if you do that yet. I've been meaning to. I should get around to doing that, because now I am curious what exactly he saw there. Because it's kind of implied that, you know, it kind of makes his attitude take a bit of a turn for the worse there, and you don't get the full details if you don't go there. So I want to look up what that's like at some point. But apparently throughout the story you kind of see him losing his faith in the crown, the ability to rule, and more so like his own abilities. And he's kind of gotten to the point where he's given up and just wants to give the power to someone else. Like, he never wanted to rule his country in the first place. He was he was a second prince. He wasn't going to be in the line to rule per se. It was something that he didn't want, and it's something that he lost his faith in the ability to do after the whole incident with the royalists. So I find it really interesting how that like puts him down this like dark line of thoughts about, you know, just giving in like that and giving into these guys over here. I find it interesting. Oh, look, if you this is as far as I can zoom in. But now you can see what used to be the statue of the goddess right there is now just like the orange reddish pillar that's like the pillar of salt in there. Huh, that's interesting. Anyway, when it came to that character story there, I just thought that was something interesting to note about Roland.
Ah, that's the good stuff. Ain't no one can pour a pint like you.
I take coin for drink, not compliments. It's hard enough to keep this place running on my own as it is.
Need me to lend a hand?
Thought you'd never ask. You can start by washing the dishes, then restocking our foodstuffs, fixing up that wobbly table, and...
Aye, leave it to me.
Ha! I'm only playing. I'd never put a paying customer to labor.
But that's an awful lot of work for any one person. Ever give thought to finding someone with whom you might share the burden?
You can stop right there. The last thing I need is anyone else complicating my life.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I had myself a someone once, you know? Special like. Till he left me for a specialer someone. Raised my son Theo all by myself after that. He'd be a man grown now, if the war hadn't taken him.
Forgive me, Hasabara. Didn't mean to go drudging up painful memories.
No need for apologies. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a thing or two in their past that haunts them. In truth, I'm more exhausted than anything. Must be the years taking their toll.
Ain't got nothing to do with age, and everything to do with the hardships you've overcome. More impressive than an old soldier drowning his sorrows in mead.
What kind of barkeep am I, letting my poor patron wallow?
Sometimes wallowing's good for the soul. Come on, have a round with me. My treat.
Took you long enough to make the offer. Now, what shall we toast to?
How about to your son?
I, to Theo.
Huh, interesting. Also, I was about to say, like, why do I have so many character stories available now? Oh, nowhere. I'm just now realizing it's probably because, like, all my party members have come together and, you know, I have all the convictions and whatnot built up, or all the progress built up towards character stories from, like, the past 3 battles where they were all fighting on their own. Let's see here. Frederica decides to cook a meal for Sarah Noah, but even the best laid plans go awry. So I guess we just have, like, a bazillion character stories now for that reason.
Do you have a moment, Sheila?
Oh, Frederica, is something the matter?
Well, I invited Serenoa to have dinner with me tonight.
That's wonderful. Are you cooking for him?
I am. I've been practicing with the book you gave me. I was hoping to finally show him what I've learned.
Then allow me to help. What are you making?
A warm soup full of meatballs. A hearty, meaty, savory stew to tickle the tongue and sate the stomach. Or so the book describes it.
That sounds like quite a mouthful, in more ways than one.
The author is rather verbose, yes. Anyhow, I also want to make an appetizer. Might you be able to lend a hand?
Cooking is hardly my specialty, but say no more. I'd love to.
Oh dear.
This is disappointing, to say the least.
And we're almost out of time. Serenoa will be back any minute now.
Excuse me, Lady Frederica. Lord Serenoa has just sent word that he has been held up at a meeting. He says there is a chance he may not even return tonight.
I see. Thank you for letting me know.
It sounds like your dinner may get postponed.
A blessing in disguise. It gives us time to cook this again and do it right this time.
Lord Serenoa may not even return tonight.
But there is a chance he might. And I refuse to disappoint him. Would you help me, Gila?
Of course, Frederica. I shall do my very best to see this through with you.
I cannot thank you enough.
The vegetables are done, though they are a far cry from perfect.
The meatballs are ready too. Now all we have to do is stew them.
Frederica, I'm back.
Oh, welcome back.
It appears we've run out of time.
I was on my way here when something urgent came to my attention. I apologize for returning so late. I know we were supposed to have dinner tonight.
I am just happy you're here. Besides, I am the one who should apologize. I wanted to cook you a meal, but failed terribly on my first attempt, so it isn't yet ready. I'm sorry, Serenoa.
Don't look so down, Frederica. I was delighted when you asked me to share a meal. Now that I'm back, why don't I help you with the food?
Serenoa.
Thank you again for inviting me. I'm overjoyed we could spend this time together.
As am I. I enjoyed cooking with you as well.
The time we spend together is very precious to me. I regret that my duties have been keeping us apart lately. But when I noticed the sky was even more beautiful than ever this night, I hurried home, hoping we could gaze upon its beauty together.
It's strange. When I was in Esfrost, I would look up at the same sky. But it felt so much colder there. The stars seemed as if frozen. They did not twinkle the way they do now that I am with you, Serenoa.
Frederica, promise me that you will always stay by my side. I need you, now more than ever.
Of course, Serenoa. I wish to gaze up at the same sky, sit beneath the same moon, and walk the same path you do. Together, forever and always.
Well, that's the thumbnail shot right there, easily. I would definitely say. Because that was definitely a really cool shot. Alright, let's see here. Eudora brushes off the subject of Benedict's sought-after flower. But why? I don't know. Let's find out.
Made it in time, my lord.
Eudora, you came.
Lady Destra. Your mother was loved by one and all, my lord. Honoring her this day is the least we can do. Is it just you here, my lord?
We are beset on all sides by tasks large and small. I would not impose my familial obligations on the others.
Spoken like a true leader. Me and your mother may not have been family by blood, but duty bound us just as close.
I am sure she would have been overjoyed to see you by my side. I never had a chance to know her. My only memories are from stories others told me. And still, I somehow can feel the warmth of her embrace, hear the loving sound of her voice.
She was smitten, that is true. She held on to you so tightly, I reckon not even the Dawn Spear could have pried you from her.
Did she?
Lady Destra's smile was brighter than the sun, and near as constant. She treated young Benedict and I like little brothers, though at times we weren't so deserving of her care. Even so, she always had a kind word, and worry enough to spare. There weren't a woman like her in all of Narzelia.
I did not know the bond between you three ran so deep. Benedict never mentioned it.
His lips aren't as loose as mine, especially when it comes to Lady Destra. Speaking of which, here. Your mother would have loved to get one of these from you.
A snowbell? My father mentioned her fondness for these flowers. Every year when I visited her, without fail, one of these would be placed in front of her grave. Was that you all this time?
Well, Not exactly, my lord.
They're quite rare, are they not? I often search for them, but I have yet to see one in bloom. Where did you find it?
Well, I made a journey down south. Benedict insisted. Apologies for my absence, my lord.
There is naught to apologize for. It was a thoughtful gesture, and I thank you for it. Somehow, I can feel Mother smiling down upon us.
More than I deserve, if I'm being honest.
Huh. There's already a snow bell. Who could have...
Should have known. Nothing will stop him from his duty.
What was that?
It was nothing, my lord. Seems we're not the only ones carrying a torch for Lady Destra.
Indeed. We are fortunate to be part of such a close-knit house. And that is thanks to those who serve it. I trust I'll see you here again in a year's time, Eridor.
Of course, my lord. Snowbells might capture a moment in time, but your mother inspired loyalty for an eternity.
Sereno's conviction had been strengthened. Well, you love to see it. Let's see here. The next one is Julio speaks to Sereno about having a noble imprisoned without the Lord's permission. Okay.
Lord Serenoa, may I speak with you?
About that noblewoman, yes? Eridor's told me what happened.
Forgive me. I know that I should have waited for your orders before acting. But I could not leave that woman to her devices. The longer the war goes on, the more the people suffer. I imagine their feelings toward their rulers must be souring. In spite of this, that woman tried to use your name to wrest their food away. Had we let her go free, people would have thought she was acting on your orders, and their mistrust of you would have only grown. I believed we had to show them that soldiers stand for justice, and acted. I accept whatever punishment you deem fit.
There will be no punishment, for you have committed no wrong.
My lord.
Anna looked into her. It seems that woman's ill repute dates back to her days in Glenbrook. Likely, she thought to obfuscate her misdeeds in the Crown City by hiding within my troops. But she wasn't able to conceal her true self in the end. I suppose she thought to earn my favor with the stolen food. Unfortunately for her, she misjudged my principles.
Lord Serenoa.
Forgive me for my oversight in this matter. I shall take all necessary precautions to ensure nothing like it happens again.
So, you aren't upset with me for throwing a noblewoman in jail?
Had I been in your position, I would have done the very same. For her misdeeds in Glenbrook and the crime you caught her committing, I shall order her banished at once. She will never again be welcome in the Wolfort domain. Let it serve as a deterrent to any others who would prey upon the common people. It is rare that I meet someone so committed to holding those of high birth accountable for their actions. I hope he will continue to do so. House Wolfort must be a house the people can trust.
Of course, my lord. You have my word. I knew I made the right choice. Unlike Patriot, Lord Serenoa is a man worth serving. Yes, I finally found where I am meant to be. I cannot rest on my laurels. Yes, I must serve my new lord as best I can.
Well, good on you, Julio. Yeah, let's strengthen them convictions. You love to see it. One more character story. Piccoletta tries to bring joy to the children who have lost their will to smile during the war.
Now, however will we carry on?
Where's our house, Mama? Did the fire eat it?
They're just like me.
Picoletta.
They lost everything. They're sad and hurting and don't know what to do. Sitting there all alone, I thought I'd never smile again. But that's when you and the others found me. You told me I threw my ball so well. Hearing that made me so happy. I felt warm inside again. I realized I wasn't alone in the world. And now it's my turn to do the same.
Wow! Look, Mama! She's amazing!
What are you doing, miss? I'm juggling. Do you like it?
It's incredible! I wish I could do that too!
Me too! Well then, why don't I teach you?
Picoletta is just like a troop leader. She brought joy to those children. She turned her sadness into a smile to cheer up others. That child can be a ray of light, warming the hearts of those bereft of hope.
Come one, come all! Behold, Picoletta's Circus! The greatest show in all the land!
Alright, we made it through the bazillion character stories that we had. Looks like there's gonna be an investigation. Their duties done, all regiments return to their promised meeting place. The final battle against Hyzant is nigh.